When I go to Korea, I'm not Korean, I'm American.
Right.
And
Same.
when I'm here, I'm Korean. And that was something I learned in my 20s when I go to visit. Back in the 80s and 90s, we didn't have the hyphenated culture or the we didn't have the language to talk about what does that mean for me? Who am I? And I think I revisited all of that, came flooding in when I opened Oseyo.
이건 우리의 last call 서로의 밤을 울리던 그 목소리 작은 떨림마저 이젠 사라지네 돌이킬 수 없단 건 우리 모두 알고 있었잖아 다시는 울리지 않을 우리의 last call.
Oseyo means welcome to my home.
Okay.
It's actually not literally welcome to my home. It's literally something you say when someone's at your front door. It kind of translates to please come in, but it's more of like you're welcome, come into my home.
And what a beautiful spread. Thank you for doing all of this.
My pleasure.
I didn't expect this much. So
I
I'm
might
like
have gone
literally
overboard.
overwhelmed.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to pick some of the fan favorites, but also the dishes that are special to me. This is our classic bibimbap in a hot stone bowl, created by Koreans when you just put everything in your fridge and you just put it into a bowl. This is our Kimchi Jjigae, a very classic Korean soup. It's originally kind of crafted from old kimchi that you have in your fridge, and then you make a soup into it. Ours is made with our house kimchi, which is an original recipe made by my mom.
Your chef here was actually working with your mom to create a lot of these dishes, all right? How did that work out? Because I know my mom is not easy to work with, and the measurements are ridiculous, right?
Like, you'd turn around and she'd put something in there.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, Mom, what did you just put in there? She's like, oh, just a little bit of this very esoteric ingredient from her cabinet that she fermented and made. Getting these recipes down on paper took a really long time. But it was such a American moment where a Korean woman has immigrated to the States who has an American-born daughter working with a Mexican-American chef. How much more American can you get than that like mesh of things? And he really enjoyed it because there's a lot of overlap between Mexican-American and Korean-American cooking.
You think that's part of that as well, being able to understand each other? Because you're technically both immigrants in a different country.
Yeah, there's a dish in Korean cuisine called Galbi. It's a short rib, and there's a lot of controversy on why it's called Galbi. Some people say it's lateral access cut short rib, but a lot also say because it originated in LA, the cut, because Koreans, we go to the Mexican markets because we lived in the same communities as immigrants, and there's like a lot of jalapenos in my mom's dishes growing up in Texas, and those really rich flavors seem to work well together. So yeah, I think and the family piece, cooking with your family, taking those traditions and passing them down to your children. That's like a very, very similar, philosophy.
I understand exactly what you're talking about, because where I grew up in Dallas, we're in a Hispanic area, right? And then also the whole family thing, where everybody sits around at a table, have dinner at night together, no matter how long of the day you had. My dad, he worked till like 7 o'clock at night doing 12-hour shifts. My mom owned a video store. She wouldn't get off till like 10 o'clock at night. So my dinner as a kid wasn't until like almost 11 o'clock at night, which is like crazy, right?
My parents too. So my parents immigrated to study here, and my mom came to be a nurse.
Okay.
And she worked the night shift, and my dad was at home during the day. So we were kind of the latchkey kids. We'd come home, let ourselves in, put TV dinners in, or just warm up whatever was in this is a classic one where you just grab rice from the rice cooker, put all the different panchans in, mixed it up, and yeah.
You're from Dallas as well as myself.
So I was born in Dallas to Korean immigrants who kind of immigrated to Dallas in 1965. So I grew up 70s, 80s. Not a lot of people in my community knew about Korean food, only the small mom and pop shops. And people would always ask me, oh, is it like Chinese food? Is it like Japanese food? And I was kind of like, didn't really know how to answer that.
I still have the same issue with Lao food.
Yeah.
People have no idea what it is, right? We don't have the marketing and budget like the other countries do.
Yeah, like Chinese and Japanese and some other Asian.
Yeah.
I would always be so embarrassed too. My friends would come over, I'd close the fridge really fast because the kimchi would smell. And so I just grew up kind of not really knowing how to explain Korean food. I never had an outlet to show my friends where to go. And I've always loved food. And then, my path led me to Cornell Hotel School. I went and lived in New York for a long time and managing restaurants. I shelved it thinking, it's not a path I'm meant to go on.
So why now?
Well, it's interesting because my dad got really sick with cancer back when I was early 30s. And I went back home from New York to help my mom with taking care of him, reintroduced myself to Korean food as a healing cuisine. And so I cooked with her for 2 years, and he had a prognosis of 2 weeks. And by cooking for him all the medicinal foods and all the healing foods, he ended up living a very full life for 2 more years.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And it was then that I ended up going to a naturopath here in Austin, and we learned about all the different modalities of cooking and how you can use it for healing. So I just got reignited with the idea of opening this concept. This dish is a sleeper hit. I think not a lot of people know about it. I liken it to kind of a poke bowl. So this is fresh fish, fresh tuna, salmon, and snapper with some lettuce. We have some pine nut relish, radish, a little bit of our sesame vinaigrette, and our gochujang all mixed in.
There's a lot of sushi restaurants out there. They're Korean owned.
Yeah. There is so much overlap in Northeast Asia between Korea, Chinese, and Japan. A lot of the arts, a lot of the food, even the cultural norms are very similar. Sometimes even aesthetically, you'll see something and you're not sure if it's Korean or Japan. So I love finding that line sometimes. I think that Koreans came here and one way to make money was to open restaurants. And everyone knew about sushi and Japanese food. Koreans understood how to make that cuisine, or at least aspects of it, understood how to make sushi. And I think that's how they started to introduce Korean food, I think, was to come out more as a sushi bar with Korean dishes.
Right.
You still see that.
It's very similar to a lot of people coming to America to open up Thai restaurants.
Oh yeah, there's so much similarity.
So there's a lot of Thai restaurants all around the U.S., but yet the owners are owned by the Laotians. That northeastern province of Thailand used to be a part of Laos. And the people there are ethnically Lao, but nationality, they're Thai.
Interesting.
So when they come to the States, there's 2 different kinds of Thai food, right? There's like the city Chinese Bangkok Thai food, and then there's like the Isan Thai food, which is technically Lao food. And so they combine up the 2 on the menus. So I like to ask my customers a lot. It's like, have you had Lao food before? I said, I bet you have. I said, have you had papaya salad? They're like, yeah. Have you had larb? They're like, is larb the same thing? I said, yes and no. Larb is mispronounced. So yes, you've had larb. That is like the national dish of Laos. When I did a project in North Carolina, went to a Thai restaurant, they found out I was Lao. They brought a whole smorgasbord of Lao food that was like
on
off
the
menu.
Side, off menu, yeah. I grew up with the same thing. We would have this Chinese restaurant we went to all the time growing up called China Gate. It was Korean owned. And we'd go there and we'd have Korean food. But there's actually a lot of Korean Chinese dishes too. Jjajangmyeon or even mapo tofu. Okay. Mapo tofu and mapo dubu in Korean, they're the same dish. They're just, one has a little bit more of a Korean
I didn't know that.
To it. Koreans immigrated to China as well back then. There's a lot of overlap in Korean Chinese food too. But I do think it was a strategy for a lot of Korean immigrants to come here and kind of first put out Japanese food as a way to be like, oh yeah, I'll get Japanese food. Oh, what's this dish? And then, this dish, be interesting to look into. Hue, raw fish in Korean cuisine. The way we cut and plate it up is really differently. It's a little bit less refined. It's a big platter of all kinds of, raw fish.
Right, like what I see it from H Mart.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like this beautifully cut, Japanese style sushi, but it's very common.
Okay.
It's kind of almost like a bar food.
Little black dress, don't change the night game. One up to hold it, 좀 저쪽 걸 같이. I know your friends, they 볼러 올래. 어수많은데 it's time.
Our steamed dumplings, Ddukbokki, mochi rice cakes, sauteed in kind of a sweet and savory sauce. Our Japchae, which is our clear sweet potato glass noodles. also a very classic Korean dish. This is our Si Rak, which translates to Korean lunchbox. And it's a way to bring in our grilled items at lunchtime with our banchans. This is our Tong Ddak, twice fried Korean fried chicken.
Koreans are known for their fried chicken.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Koreans fried chicken is different in that it is the batter. It's kind of got like a nice cornstarch rice flour batter that's been brined, but it's twice fried, which is, I think, what makes it unique. And so, yeah, Koreans, I think, have had like chicken in their cuisine for a long time. There's a lot of street food in Korean food, especially it's like this whole concept of drinking beer with chicken. It's called chimek, the big thing in Korea. I think this is a great representation of Oseyo in a way because it's a real Korean American take on this dish. My mom used to make me fried chicken wings all the time growing up, and she had more of a soy-based marinade. When I asked chef to make something, we played around with this dish. I think we made this about 30 plus times. We just couldn't get the batter right. We couldn't get the sauce right, just because I knew it was going to be an important dish to get right. And once we got it, it was so good. It's been one of our best sellers since.
History-wise, what do you think the battering of the chicken comes from? Is that pre-war, post-war?
Post-war.
Post-war.
I think.
Do you think there's an American influence in that?
Yeah. During the war, flour was introduced to Korea. A lot of provisions like spam and all the things. There just wasn't a lot of flour in Asian Korean cuisine. After that, that's where they took it to becoming battering and also noodle making.
Should we try it?
Yeah, you can grab it with our chopsticks. That is one thing I want to say. Koreans actually don't use chopsticks to eat. I think this is maybe similar to Laotian food. Yeah. We use it to grab things and then we put them down and eat with our spoons. And so I always try to tell people that when they're eating here because they're trying to eat all the little rice kernels with chopsticks. And I'm like, that's so hard, don't do that.
Yeah, don't eat rice with chopsticks unless you're in a Chinese restaurant and a bowl is shoved in your face.
Yeah.
That's when you eat chopsticks with rice.
My mom was here doing R&D with us, and on her way out, she goes, oh, we should throw in this house pickle. And she just made it on the spot. And since then, it's just been on our menu.
That's sweet and spicy.
Yeah.
And savory. And yes, the pickle definitely, every dish needs some kind of acid to kind of help break that down, right?
Yeah, it's a really nice pairing.
Yeah, I love it.
You know, I think that one thing that I'm proud of is the feeling and the vibe we've created here. Originally, there's this experience that I wanted to create, and I wanted to just express the foods that I loved in a fun environment, you know, but I think in the process, you're under review by so many people. And I got a lot of feedback that, you know, Oseyo wasn't authentic or this or that. It didn't meet their expectations of Korean food.
And how do you handle that? I mean, internally or externally?
I think it hit really hard in the beginning because when I go to Korea, I'm not Korean, I'm American.
Right.
And when I'm here, I'm Korean. And that was something I learned in my 20s when I go to visit. And people used to confuse me as Japanese.
Funny, because when I went back to Laos, they thought I was Japanese.
Yeah, I know. I guess we both like Japanese. I'm first generation Korean American. Back in the 80s and 90s, we didn't have the hyphenated culture or the we didn't have the language to talk about what does that mean for me? Who am I? All of that came flooding in when I opened Oseyo because a lot of native Koreans have a lot of criticisms about the way we're doing, but also other Americans may have their own idea what Korean food should be. And I just think this is my authentic expression of Korean American food.
I 100% agree with that. Anytime I talk to a food writer or a critic, I always convey to them, I was like, authentic is what I create.
Yeah.
Tradition is something different.
Right.
Right? It's like we take some of our traditions and we've built our own authentic spin to it.
Yeah.
Somebody from our own culture, they're the worst critics.
Totally.
They're just like, well, my mom doesn't make it like that. I was like, well, cool. Does your aunt cook it like your mom?
Yeah.
And the answer is always no. So we're not always
that expectation.
we're not going to fulfill all those things.
I'd almost prefer people to say, I just didn't like it or it wasn't to my tasting, but it's not authentic. It's definitely a trigger for me because it's hard to, when you put your heart and soul into something and then that's the feedback, it can be really harsh.
I agree,
you know?
yeah.
Mm-hmm. How is that received, you cooking Laotian food with your family?
Initially, everybody was kind of skeptical because Lao cuisine is not popular. Even a lot of people says, why don't you just start a Thai restaurant? I was like, but
I got that a lot too. Why don't you just do Japanese?
Yeah, and I was like, that's not the mission. That's not the goal. That's not where the heart is. When I used to host chef's tables dinners, I would tell about the history, the geographic nature of Laos, what ingredients come out of there. I was able to introduce mom's dishes and recipes, so that made her happy.
That's big.
Yeah.
Yeah. My mom is still not really super critical of my cooking. She's like, it's okay.
Why did you choose not to become the chef? Why did you choose to become the front of the house?
I have a lot more experience in the front of house, so it's my comfort zone. I've always wanted to be a chef, but my dad, growing up, was like, I didn't come here to the States for you to be a cook. And he'd always like put his little chef hat, thing. And so I always skirted around that by being in the front. Most of my career was in the front, so I just have a lot more experience, but you'll find me back there a lot.
Yes. Have you ever had to jump in the kitchen when Mike's not around?
Yes, I'm real rusty on the line. But yeah, I've definitely, when chef's been out of town or sick and we've had a busy night, I've jumped on the line. I wouldn't say it's the smoothest service, but we get through it. It's a lot of fun. I actually love cooking on the line. It's a fun.
It's a rush, right?
It's a big rush.
Yeah.
It's real fun.
I think as a chef, we all chase that rush.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
exciting.
When it's slow, it's the worst thing ever. Mm-hmm. But then when you have tickets that are hidden in the floor and you're just like,
you can't even look up.
Your game plan is your instincts.
Yeah.
Right? You're just like, you just go.
Just dancing.
As much as you
I call it dancing on the line. Yeah. I have just as great of connection with all the line cooks and the cooks as I do in the front, just because to me, it is my home. I love everyone here. We have a lot of fun together. I think the customers end up feeling that because I'm here all the time. It is a home, a second home. So I like to kind of make everyone feel like
only
their
your second
home.
Maybe
my primary home. And so the interior designs were meant to feel like someone's home. A lot of wood, a lot of objects have energy. So
first time I came here, it blew me away because it's so gorgeous. Everything worked out perfectly.
Me and a good friend of mine, he has Carvada Interior. We collaborated a lot together. I had a lot of ideas of what I wanted. I wanted Korean artistry to be showcased. We have a lot of fabric art and basketry and ceramics. It felt welcoming and home. And my mom, when I was designing the restaurant, I brought so many things from growing up. Right. And on the shelves, I took my mom's jewelry box, and there's a piece of furniture that I brought with me, that clock. Like, there's all these things that I brought from home, and my mom kept saying, are you sure people will want to see that? Like, she couldn't understand why that would bring value, because it wasn't what she envisioned a restaurant would look like, I guess, or what she thinks an American restaurant should look like. Like, this screen is something my dad left behind after he passed away, but it was in my house growing up. It's the Battle of Japan. It reflects the turtle ship, which is a battle my dad loved to brag about because it was a Korean engineering feat. They made this big ship that's the shape of a turtle's back. And he used to tell me the story all the time. And so when he passed away, I wanted this screen. Right. And my mama was like, oh, that thing is, why would you want that? That's so ugly, And it was so important. And the wall was meant for that. And now I think it's one of our, people
gorgeous,
take pictures in front of it and people appreciate it. I get to tell that story of a pretty pivotal moment in Korean history. Yeah, I think there's a reversal of now us trying to recapture things our parents were trying to avoid teaching us so that we wouldn't, be assimilated.
They just want us to fit in as fast as we can,
right?
And just be American.
Be American. Yeah,
that's always what it is.
Yes, be American. You don't need to learn that. You don't need to. Yeah.
My parents had the same thing. They said, "We brought you to America so you can wear a suit and tie and work in the AC."
Yeah. My mom said, "Lynn, you can be whatever you want. You could be a doctor, lawyer, or a businesswoman."
Back at home, the real poor people cook.
Yes.
Because it's the only way they know how to survive.
Yes.
Middle class, high middle class are all rich, and they don't cook.
Right.
They boss.
Right.
And our parents wanted us to be bosses.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't realize
that chefs.
Yeah, we are the boss.
Yeah, right.
It's just a different capacity.
So recently she told my daughters, who are her granddaughters, she's out of nowhere, she said, you can be a doctor, a lawyer, or a businesswoman, or a chef. And I was like, what?
It's crazy, huh?
Somehow in one generation, I was able to change that.
You feel this way too. It's like we get to finally share our story. And thank you so much for sharing your story with me. It's been amazing. I'm going to dig in some more too.
Do it.
Hey guys, thanks for watching Chef to Chef. This episode is presented by InKind, a partner to thousands of restaurants across the country. InKind does two amazing things. They help restaurants like mine grow with hospitality first funding that truly understands what it takes to run a restaurant. No banks, no investors breathing down your neck, just real support from people who really get it. And with the app, patrons will be able to earn discounts and rewards at top dining spots all across the country. When I was launching Loud Bar, InKind not only provided the crucial startup funds, but also helped new customers find my restaurant. So if you're a restaurant owner or a restaurant goer, InKind makes your dining experience so much easier and rewarding. Download the app today.